Oh, freedom, oh, freedom, oh, freedom over me. And before I'd be a slave, I'd be buried in my grave and go home to my Lord and be free.
Destination Freedom. In cooperation with the Chicago Defender, WMAQ brings you Destination Freedom, a special radio series dramatizing the great democratic heritage of the Negro people, a part of the pageant of American history. The second President of the United States, John Adams, once said, "The world will never forget the noble daring and excusable rashness of Crispus Attucks in the holy cause of liberty." On Boston Common, there stands a monument to his deed. Today, Destination Freedom tells the story of Crispus Attucks, the first American to give his life for American independence. A story entitled The Knock-Kneed Man.
In Boston, the soldiers looked all day and half the night for the knock-kneed man. In the year 1770, when a king wrote the laws of the land, they looked for the knock-kneed man. In Virginia, young Tom Jefferson had just passed the bar. In Jamestown, a slave ship docked with half its cargo dead. In Boston in 1770, freedom was a whisper, while the soldiers searched for the knock-kneed man. In the main square, Captain Cox surprised the guard.
Guard.
Who's there?
Well, have you seen him?
Who's there?
It's your captain, you fool. Lower that gun.
Oh, well, I thought it was one of the rebels, sir.
I asked you, have you seen him?
Oh, I don't know what all I've seen tonight, sir. Just a uniform of the king's soldiers makes the crowds fighting mad. They threw stones at us all day, and tonight an old woman spat on me. We beat them down, we knocked their heads in, but still they mill around, waiting for a sign to attack us. What's gotten into the colonists, sir? What's the...
Stop blubbering and answer my questions. I said, have you seen him?
Him? Oh, I don't know, sir.
What do you know? Do you know your orders?
Yes, sir. Capture him if possible. Kill him if necessary.
Then keep your eyes peeled. He'll be here as though he has an appointment with us. What are you nervous about?
Oh, it's just that I'm new and I've never seen him before.
Well, you can tell a black man from a white man, can't you?
Yes, sir, but I don't know the particulars.
His particulars don't matter. Once you see him, you'll know it's him. Where he came from, who his master was, I don't know. His name is Crispus Attucks. Some 20 years ago, he was a slave. Now he leads the crowd. Wherever the rebels are, you'll find him.
In the square, the captain talked, and the guard kept his eyes peeled for the knock-kneed man. Snow fell. Elsewhere in Boston, the knock-kneed man set out to keep his appointment. Walked into the night and thought of a day 20 years earlier when he made his appointment. On that same day, a slave master had walked into a newspaper office with certain particulars for the editor.
Particulars? How many particulars do you stupid editors need to catch one slave?
Well, I'm not a bloodhound, sir.
Do you know who I am?
I haven't the slightest idea.
I'm Cyrus Brown of Farmington. I own the mills your paper comes from.
Well, if you'll just describe your man, Mr. Brown, we'll run an ad every day.
I'm offering £100 for his return.
Well, yes, sir. 100 pounds.
You writing this down?
Oh, yes, sir. His name?
Crispus. Crispus Attucks.
Crispus Attucks. Age?
Near 25. Looks 45.
Mm-hmm. Any identification?
Plenty. Cat o' nine-tail lashes on his back. He escaped before, you see.
A height?
Big fellow. 6 feet 2 inches tall. His knees,
Yes.
Knees a bit closer together than the Almighty usually puts knees.
Knocked?
Positively. Now, he wore a gray cap, checked woolen shirt, bearskin coat, had on my brand new buckskin buckle-toed shoes. If he's not wearing brown stockings, he's wearing blue. Only had 2 pair.
In a month, the gray cap was black with mud from the ditches. The shoes wore out, and the knock-kneed man went barefooted. In the New England hills, he staggered, slept, stole, fought, pushed ahead while dogs barked and hunters called.
Catch him! Hurry up, catch him! 100 pounds reward! 100 pounds!
100 pounds. Ted, get my gun. Get my gun.
He can't hold out long! Keep looking! He can't hold out long!
He went down by the Quaker's place. Yeah, turn that way.
Look, he's firing. You can tell by his footprints. Hurry, men, hurry.
Oh, no, he went this way! This way, Dad! Forward, please!
He went this way, he went that way, he ran, he walked, he crawled. Then the knock-kneed man staggered into a barn, dropped down on the soft hay, forgot the dogs, masters, whips, fell asleep, and slept on while the cock crowed, and while a girl came near singing. Slept while she ran off and told her father.
Yes, now become, Abigail. Reach me my shoes. Be sure it's the runaway slave.
He looks like the papers say.
We shall be needing the reward to pay off the king's men. Praise the Lord.
What does he intend to do with him, Father?
I'll just let the Lord guide me. Where's the gun? How much reward was it?
100 pounds. But we can't
We
turn...
can. They're quartering troops in every big farmhouse. That much money could pay them off. Pay taxes, too.
But, Father, the church says you can't...
Don't remind me of that girl. These like thy mother. Rest her soul. Well, I'm ready. Don't stand there.
What would the Lord say?
Would the Lord want us to be slaves to the king's troops? 100 pounds don't come our way every day. Now, lead the way.
And in the cool morning, while the farmer figured the trigger of his blunderbuss, the knock-kneed man turned on his back as the cock crowed twice and opened his eyes.
Get up and put up the hands.
He just stands there and stares at us.
Keep the hands up, or I'll blow the head off.
He looks so tall and thin and tired.
Who art thou? Canst thou speak?
Yes, I speak, Farmer. Put down the gun. I'm not here to harm you.
I said, who art thou?
I'm Crispus Attucks.
You see, gal, it's him. Who's thy master?
I'm my own master.
No such thing. He belongs to Brown. They's going back to him.
I'll never go back to slavery alive, Farmer.
Then I'll take the back dead.
Father, he doesn't mean that. The church says to...
Never mind, girl. It's money we need. It's money we'll get.
I say it'll be a dead man you'll get. Do you think I dared the dogs and the hunters and the hunger? To be afraid to dare death from you? Stand aside, let me pass.
Stand back.
Going up the road, Farmer.
I said I'll shoot.
Then shoot. Step aside and shoot.
Man, for the sake of the Lord, don't force me to...
Then stand aside.
Father, they dropped the gun.
Oh, Lord, what was I about to do? What has death and the fear of the king made me become? Did I escape the oppression in Scotland to become a slave hunter?
Oh, Father.
No, girl. I told thee the Lord would guide me, and he did. The cause of freedom is the cause of God. I know it. And unto thee, stranger, thy courage forced me to keep my faith.
Your faith kept me alive. Which road leads to Boston?
Either. But would they have a bite to eat?
A bite to eat. If you don't mind.
Abigail, look alive, girl. Don't stand there gaping. Set the breakfast table. We've got a guest.
The farmer fed a guest who was hungry for more than food. In New York, the people burned the image of King George. In Boston, a whaling ship skipper looked for sailors. Near the Quaker farmer's house, a British captain was on his way to quarter his troops on the farm. Inside, the farmer and the knock-kneed man spoke of ships and sailors.
It's on the sea where they can be free, man. Head for the docks of Boston. Do as I tell you.
Is the sea free?
Oh, for some it is. Find my brother Angus. He's skipper on the whaler. Tell him I sent you.
Is he sending him to Uncle Kirk?
Mind your manners, Abigail. Atticus will be wanting another glass of milk.
Yes, Father.
You think he'll take me on?
Might as well try. It's a rough crew he's got. But thou can take care of thyself.
Father,
Yes, Abigail?
soldiers are coming up the walk.
Soldier?
The king's soldiers. There's a captain in front. Are they looking for Atticus?
No. No, not this time. No, it's for me.
Why, Father?
Open in the name of His Majesty. Open in the name of the King.
Let them in, Abigail. I know what they come for.
What art thou going to say to them?
The Lord will tell me what to do when the time comes. Let them in.
Yes, Father.
You needn't hold me out and hide your valuables, farmer. I am not here to rob you.
Then what art thou here for?
Answer questions. Don't ask them. We need your farm to quarter the king's troops.
Quarter the king's troops? Is there a war?
There's no war, but there are rebels and radicals agitating against His Majesty and his laws. Our soldiers will see that taxes are paid and the laws are carried out. You'll quarter some of them here, unless you can pay for their upkeep elsewhere. Now, if you had 50 pounds...
50 pounds. 50 pounds.
Don't stand there mumbling, Quaker. You have money hidden, I know it. How else could you afford a slave?
He's not a slave.
Well, then who is he?
He is the only free man on my farm.
To be free, the man with the knocked knees left the farm and the soldiers behind. He left with his head full of dreams and his heart pounding for the new, free life. He left knowing that there were other men enslaved besides himself, other chains, other whips, other slave owners. He came into Boston and looked for a job on a whaler.
Is this Skipper Kirkland's boat, sailor?
Yeah, but we ain't taking on no stowaways. I'll be off.
All I want is work, sailor.
Work? On this ship? You hear that, boys? Tenderfoot wants to work on the toughest ship on the sea. So get going while the going's good.
Here. What's going on? What's going on here?
This here man comes aboard, sir, says he wants work.
Well, has the king passed a law against that? What do you know about the sea, mister?
Only what your brother said. That it's free to some.
Free, he thinks. He's never heard of the king's blockade.
Quiet, men, quiet. We need a sailor, and if a kin of mine sent him, he must be good. You know, we're a whaling ship, man. Winters are tough, works hard. Are you up to it?
I'll make it.
See here, Skipper, where'd he come from? He just walked out of nowhere.
That's what I'd like
When
to know,
did we
Skipper.
started asking men where they came from? Did I ask you what prison you escaped from, Tom? Did I ask you why you signed up, Dan? You, Joe? Andy? If the new man can stand the work he's on, I'll ask for no pedigree. Only the usual question.
What's that, Skipper?
Your name?
Crispus Attucks.
Attucks. On what side do you place your loyalty?
My loyalty?
Aye, with the king or with the colonies?
That depends, sir.
On what?
On what side there'll be freedom for me.
Fair enough. Mate, sign him on. You'll find the townspeople love us and the king's men hate us. We're a clannish crew. If the men like you, thumbs up. If they don't, there'll be the devil to pay. Now you'll be needing an outfit. Mate, fetch Attucks a pair of pants.
As you say, sir.
You've had a rough time of it?
I won't deny it.
You got those pants, mate?
Here's some that'll fit him, sir.
Well, we'll just measure and see first. Stand up straight, Attucks. Hold your legs straight, man, so I can measure you.
Yes.
Can't you stand straight?
I am standing straight, sir.
No such thing. Are you trying to make a fool of me?
Why, Skipper, no wonder he ain't standing straight. He's got knock knees.
Got what?
Knock knees. Hey, boys, take a look at these knock knees.
Well, bless my soul, he stands like an ex, he does. Hey, mate! Look!
Then the knock-kneed man looked down at his own legs, and he, too, began to laugh.